Holy moly, so many developments in the ongoing case of Wendy Williams and her health and her guardianship. Hello, my friend. Perez Hilton here, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and I've been sharing with you all of the developments just this week. On Monday, Wendy was taken to the hospital after a wellness check was called because people were concerned for her at the assisted care facility that she's been at for many months. It's a place for seniors. Wendy's just 60, and she's currently in the memory care unit. The judge in her guardianship, not her guardian, the judge declared her legally and permanently incapacitated. That after Wendy was diagnosed as having dementia. But dementia is a progressively deteriorating disease. And Wendy has improved since getting that diagnosis in 2022. But for the last almost 3 years now, she's been in this guardianship, which was triggered by her bank because her son was misappropriating her money, and the bank didn't like that, so they went to the court, and the judge insisted on this that isn't working. Wendy describes where she's staying as a luxury prison. Her guardian counters that she's receiving the best care there and that it was all mandated by the judge. Well, Wendy is able to use the phone in her unit at the assisted care facility and has been giving a lot of interviews over the last couple of months. Wendy denies being incapacitated and she sounds relatively clear. I'm not a BSer. She's not as sharp as she was when she was doing the Wendy Williams show, but she doesn't seem out of it. And after all of these interviews, her guardian requested that she get a new assessment. But Wendy wanted her own assessment. So she's been collaborating with her family, and that's why the incident on Monday happened. It was a coordinated stunt. She was taken to the hospital and was assessed by a psychiatrist and given a psych evaluation there. 10 questions. She got them all right and passed with flying colors. And that leads us to today. Wendy was discharged from the hospital, went back to her assisted care facility with her niece, and then her niece took her out to dinner. Well, even though the guardian says that Wendy is free to come and go, and that her freedom is not restricted, because her niece took Wendy out to dinner tonight, the assisted care facility filed a police report saying that the niece broke the law. I'm not making this up. The assisted care facility alleges that Wendy's niece evaded staff by taking Wendy out of the building. She is not allowed to leave the memory care unit unless a staffer presses the button for the elevator for her. However, sources close to Wendy counter that an attendant actually accompanied Wendy and her niece Alex down to the lobby and opened the door of their Uber for them to get in. As I shared with you earlier this week, the lawyer for her guardian released this public statement that Wendy was free to come and go from the facility as she pleases and that no restrictions were placed on family visits. But here we are. The facility filed a police report. Wendy's niece did take her back to the assisted care facility, and she said, and Wendy, that the police report drama is unbelievable. Wendy and her niece also say it's weird that the assisted care facility took issue with them going out to dinner when her guardian claims there's no restrictions on her movements and family visitors. Wendy says the guardian is lying, and she says tonight's events are proof that she is being treated poorly. And Wendy is worried that she will be treated even worse. Prior to going out to dinner today, Wendy called in to TMZ Live and says that the judge in her guardianship was not happy that Wendy has been giving all of these interviews, and that the judge threatened to move her to a more restrictive assisted living facility than the one she describes as a luxury prison. Harvey tells her, "The judge says we've given you as much independence as is possible, but you've kind of abused that. And it sounds like it's because you're talking to the media, and the judge is now looking to the Guardian to find a more restrictive place than the place you're staying at right now and the place you call a luxury prison. Can we get your reaction to that?" Wendy responded saying, quote, "What do you mean, loosen? Me going out and doing things? I'm not doing anything." This was before she went out to dinner tonight. Wendy adds, "And giving me a more constrictive environment? What's more restrictive than the Coterie?" That's the name of the place that she's currently staying at. She adds, "And what is going on with the judge speaking to me in such a way?" Good point. I don't like this judge. The judge, if you're curious, is a woman. Her name is Lisa Sokoloff. Judge Lisa Sokoloff. She could Sokola off. Then they ask Wendy, "Are you concerned that they, the judge and the Guardian, are going to move you to a more restrictive facility?" Wendy says, "Yes, I am. And don't make me start crying, because I can laugh and cry on the drop of a dime." Wendy confesses that she is scared and adds, quote, "I don't know what could be tighter than where I am, but I have to get out and I have to do it immediately," she says of the guardianship. And she is trying and her family is helping. Wendy was asked about that statement that her guardian's lawyer put out, that she's free to come and go and that has no restrictions to having visitors. And Wendy says, "They're lying. They're lying. That's a lie." And that was proven true by the memory care facility filing a police report today. She says, "That's a lie. And you don't know because you haven't been there, because you're not allowed to come see me at the Coterie, the assisted care facility." Wendy goes on to say, "They are lying. They are lying, people. I'm sorry. And I've had it up to here. And thank goodness I can speak." Hopefully she can continue to speak. We need to hear directly from her. They bring up the fact that the judge in her case initially denied her request to go down to Florida to visit her father for his birthday. Wendy says the judge eventually reversed her decision, but "I couldn't go see my dad unless I had my attorney flying with me, staying in the hotel with me, and going around when I was shopping, and flying back to New York with me after 3 days of being in Miami, and a security person." Wendy's asked, "Why is the guardian and the judge so determined to keep you in this guardianship? To say your mental functions are deteriorating despite everything else we're hearing? Why do they want to keep you in such a secretive way? Do you have any thoughts on that?" Wendy responded, "Well, I don't want to curse." Wendy hopes to put this guardianship behind her and get back to work. Wendy says, "I've already heard from people at Lifetime, and I would love to be with them as they would love to be with me. And I think that working would be wonderful for Wendy's career, but also for her well-being, for her health." God, what a dramatic week. What a dramatic day. Thoughts on all of these latest developments? Let's get into it in the comment section.